Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out the first of many keyboards on this channel, starting with the Edifier's Hecate gaming keyboard. So let's check it out.
Pa' atrás por si no arrepentimos. Si nadie es culpable, pues culpamos al destino con el.
So this keyboard today was sent over to me by Edifier for a review, and this is not a sponsored post, and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So the Hecate brand is one of Edifier's gaming division, and with gaming division comes a line of gaming peripherals, including keyboards, headphones, mices, and many more. So the G4K today is a compact 97 keyboard, and it's quite a nice one to type on, to be honest, and this keyboard retails for 399 Malaysian ringgit or about 85 US dollars. It's definitely competitive considering that other keyboards that I personally owned before this comes in at pretty much similar price point. If you're interested in what you see, definitely get them in the links below. So the build of this keyboard is very high quality and it does weigh quite a bit, and taking it out of the box feels pretty hefty, but it comes in at only about 1060 grams, which is a pretty good weight for an 1800 layout keyboard. So giving it some context, the smaller 10 keyless keyboard that I have here, the Keycaps K8, that comes in at 738 grams, as well as the Keycaps K2 that I have here is a compact 10 keyless at 683 grams. And honestly, if you tap underneath the keyboard, it doesn't sound hollow, and even if you look at the teardown of this keyboard, it is pretty dense inside with a silicone gasket inside to make the keystrokes a little bit more comfortable. And coming from other keyboards, I can definitely tell how gentle the keystrokes sound with the G4K. Material-wise, the external housing is all made of plastic, very high quality dense plastic, and there are layers of sound absorbing foam inside to give the keyboard a pretty good typing experience. And the nice thing about any gaming keyboard, if you're into that stuff, is the inclusion of RGB lighting on the keyboard. You're definitely getting that with this keyboard as well, and the keyboard gives you a very nice vibe like the Razer range of gaming keyboards. Again, this is a 97 key 1800 layout keyboard, and Hecate calls it a 97+1 because of the additional metal scroll wheel here to control the volume as well as the LED brightness. So on the left hand side of the keyboard are 3 switches, very similar to most keyboards in the market today. You get an on-off switch here, the tri-mode switch to switch between Bluetooth, USB as well as 2.4 GHz dongle mode, and below that is also a switch to switch between Windows and Mac, which is nice. But Hecate doesn't provide you with the option and command keys to swap out on your keyboard to use it with your Mac mode. So as someone who switches between the two systems, I definitely find myself a little handicapped without the labels. And on the back of the keyboard is also your Type-C port to charge up the keyboard or to use this keyboard on a wired mode. And at the bottom of the keyboard is also a 3-level stand, so this is 1 level, 2 levels, as well as 3 levels. And another thing here is that Hecate actually places a very sticky and grippy rubber here. It's pretty good if you want it to grip onto your desk, but I kind of find it a little too grippy because I like to move my keyboard around when I'm typing, and I like the middle level height, but every time I push my keyboard on my desk mat, it collapses. Probably a user problem, but that's my thoughts about that. This problem goes away if you use the stand at the highest level, but not so good if you use it at the middle level. So as for the keycaps, this is where we get the really great stuff from Hecate, and these keycaps are PBT double shot keycaps, 2 color keycaps with a transparent font for the RGB to shine through. And you might think that what is the deal with these keycaps, because these keycaps don't fade and don't shine, so that's the benefit of having a PBT double shot keycaps. So the keycaps you get from the Keycaps are ABS keycaps, and they will fade and shine over time, and I have already thrown away my original Keycaps keycaps because they fade, they peel, the colors go away, and I hate it so much with mine after it faded, and I just threw the whole thing away and got PBT keycaps. So problem with most PBT keycaps is that they don't usually come with a see-through font. So one example of a PBT keycap here, they are very thick, but you can see the fonts are printed on here and they are not shine through. So your RGB cannot shine through this. So that is why the keycaps from the Hecate is fantastic. It's PBT and it's also shine through. So your switches you get here is Hecate's own eSport switches, which is hot swappable, which is nice. And if you fancy your own switches, you want to switch it out, you can just pull it out from the board and replace them. So Hecate also offers 3 different types of switches to use from, and the ones that comes with the G4K is the space-time red switches, which sounds very similar to the Gateron brown switches, which is more mellow and gentle, and the switches are also looped out of the factory, so it's even softer and gentler. So typing on this feels extremely different, and it feels very easy to tap and register. You don't really need to bottom out the stroke if you don't want to, and it'll register somewhere around the near half stroke before bottoming out. So let's take a listen comparing the Hecate red to the Gateron brown and the Gateron blue. So from a battery standpoint, this keyboard gives you a rated 200 hours of battery life if you use it without the RGBs. But let's be honest, the reason why we buy gaming keyboards is so that we can get RGB action. So what's the fun of using it without the lights? So with the RGB lights, you get 20 hours of battery life, and if you use it for 8 hours a day, you probably need to charge it up every 2 days or just keep it plugged in all the time. Edifier also provides you with the Hecate Connect app, and you can use this app if you connect the keyboard directly to your computer via the USB connection. So there are a few things you can do here, and this board is infinitely customizable. And the first here is the button settings, and you can click on any button here to change its function. And under light settings, there are 18 different light styles that you can play around with and infinitely choose from the 16 million colors available. So you can also build different macros for each gaming profile to suit what you typically do when gaming. And you can also play around with the other settings and also reset the profile. So you can add several different profiles to quickly swap between them, and it's really easy to use. And you can also export these settings and load them into another PC if you also want to swap between PCs. So I honestly think this keyboard is really nice, and although I don't have many experience with many other boards, I've also tried several from Keychron and has their own pros and cons. So I will be using this keyboard for a change now, and I'll also be checking out more keyboards collaborations in the future. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash that thumbs up button, share this video everywhere, and if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.